My people, what up, though? We back with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. My name is Chief,
And I'm Bell.
and my player partner Prentice is tied up this evening, so he couldn't join us. One of the other fellas might hop on a little bit later, but nevertheless, the show must go on. You dig? We gonna make it do what it do. Bellhead, what's popping? Cause what it is, what it was, what it does.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm planning my mom's 70th, which is 12 days from today. So looking forward to that. But it's always something. It's like planning a wedding. It's always gonna be some BS that you gotta kind of sift through and deal with. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. Um looking forward to wrapping the year up. Um I'm pretty much shutting it down the last 2 weeks of December for the most part. I got some upcoming travel. I got Charlotte, I got Detroit, and we got Detroit, and I got Orlando, and that'll close out my travel for the year. Um, Coming down to the end of this house renovation, which is good. Looking forward to getting some of my money back because we is broke these days. Um, Just realized I didn't. I thought I submitted my expenses and realized I never even clicked submit. So I got to do that when we hang up. But
Sounds
other than that, everything is cool. Everything is cool.
like some shit I do. Forget to submit my expenses. Looking for the check, the reimbursement check. Like, where is that?
Yeah, but I spent like an hour putting all them because it's like 3 months worth of expenses, putting all that stuff in, and I text my boss like, "Look, I just sent it through. Go ahead and approve that because I'm broke and
and didn't
and never even sent it." Yeah, it's crazy.
he, he ain't hit you back like Chris. I don't see it.
He did, but sometimes it'd be like a lag. So I'd be like, all right, it ain't no big. Because we also going through this new system. So I'm like, man, maybe it's just a little whatever. But now, my allergies are acting up right now too. So my apologies for the congestion.
Nah,
I just took a pill.
I'm so blessed, man. Thank God, Lord. I want to thank you as I sit on this podcast for the blessing of good health. And you know, what I mean, I haven't had the common cold since 2001. Anytime I feel a sniffle bell, I throw on a sweatsuit and a hoodie, sweat that thing out at night, and be just right in the morning. I don't experience allergies. Every now and then I go outside and I get a little watery eye. Don't know what
Mhm.
that's from, but I'm blessed in that regard. So shout out to the big homie up top. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
As
Back
for me,
then.
man, all is well. Hung out with the boys today. We went and got some haircuts. I don't know why. I just enjoy taking my boys to the barbershop. Like I could easily cut their hair. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. I just like taking them to the shop and just spending that time with them there.
Y'all
Um,
go to Miguelito or
Not to go to
Precise?
precise.
Mm.
Um, but no, that was cool. We hung out at the crib, got some laughs in, had some snacks and whatnot, and brought them back before I got to this with you. Um, Bubba got smoked yesterday, B. In
And
her
what?
game,
Volleyball?
in her softball game, she was pitching, caught a line drive right at her.
No.
Fired that thing at her, hit her in her pitching wrist, so she couldn't pitch. But that thing hit her so hard, she had the laces of the softball on her
Damn.
arm. She still got them on her arm.
What did you bring it to the doctor?
Yeah, we went to the to ER. Nothing's broke. Just put her in a little sling. Told her to ice it and ice it and ice it, so she's good.
That's crazy. That ER bill about to be $1,000.
That thing came hot though, Bell. Hot.
Yeah, I probably scared her more than it hurt, if I had to guess.
She nah, yeah, she was crying, but
I mean, yeah, I would be too.
she had a couple. I mean, the girl who did it was like, "I'm so sorry." And he was like, "No, it's okay." And then went to the bedroom, was crying like, "Dad, this hurts. It hurts." But nah,
Did they win at least?
I don't even know.
Oh, she left the game.
No, well, she sat on the sideline. We waited till the game was done, and they had a picnic after the game, a little picnic after the game. So it was a final game of the fall, and it was just inter squad scrimmage. So like, there's two teams in the organization, so they just played the other team.
Oh, okay, okay. So what?
Yeah, so it didn't really count on that much, just a kind of camaraderie type thing. You dig?
Camaraderie. Gotcha.
Outside of that, Friday I sent in my paperwork for my 092.
That's what I was just about to ask you. What's the deal with that?
Sent in the paperwork on Friday, and it's just should be here next week. That
That's what's up.
they said 13th is in a week, so the 20th. So hopefully next Friday it's all good, and uh, you know get that paperwork I've been long awaited for, and then everything else is straight, bro.
You going? You start applying yet, or what? You have a conversation? Like,
I got a list at the school. I haven't really remember I told you I wanted to wait till I got that Connecticut paperwork because it's always something. So once I get the Connecticut paperwork, I start applying. But I got a list of schools. Um, Bristol Central was open, but somebody got that. Bristol Eastern is now another one that's available. East Hartford is available.
assistant.
Yep, and Hartford got a new superintendent. So
Mm.
there's gonna be a lot of restructuring there. So it's a lot of opportunities out there for me. A lot of opportunities. So it's just a matter of timing and preparing myself for it. But I've been doing that. I got a ton of stuff ready already. So feeling good. Feeling good. Like I said, man, I've been having this shift in me where just I'm just moving on the air of positivity, like smiling more, just being. Everything's just been going well. You know what
Hey, nothing wrong with that, bro.
going well. So yeah, man, everything's good. Where we at? Let's go. Let's just maybe if it's just me and you, nobody jump on in. What we talking
Yeah,
about tonight?
we're talking about burnout. I wrote this treatment a while ago, um, because recently, well, it's not recently anymore, but I attended this conference called the Disability End Conference, and one by far, if not definitely one of the most impactful conferences I had been to. But during one of the breakouts, they had talked about a study that was done in April by Saremount, and it was around burnout in the workforce. And they surveyed like 1,000 employees regarding burnout, and excuse me, they uh they cited a Harvard Business Review that outlined the key drivers of burnout: unclear expectations and lack of support, insufficient autonomy and decision making power, emotionally draining roles without adequate resources, misalignment between organizational values and day to day operations. In the article, it states employees' well being is directly linked to organizational performance. Um, so it just got me to thinking, and just for the people listening, the definition of burnout as it pertains to psychology today, it says burnout is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by prolonged or excessive stress. It is characterized by three key dimensions: emotional exhaustion, feeling drained, depleted, um, depersonalization, feeling detached, cynical, or indifferent towards work or other responsibilities, reduced professional efficacy, feeling incompetent, ineffective, and unable to achieve goals. Um, so I've definitely experienced burnout before, and and
As
when
it
I
pertains to any of those outline those factors you just mentioned.
yeah, yeah, like my last role, I was 1,000,000% emotionally drained, um, due to not having adequate resources. 100%. Um,
It's interesting because being in education, I feel like burnout. I don't when you hit when if I heard burnout as a non-educator, I'm thinking education the whole time because that's where you get the most I believe the most turnover in education. Like educators are having
I
a
mean,
terrible.
compared to what though?
That's what I'm saying. So that's
Like
why I'm about to
most
get into
turnover.
like what does burnout look like in corporate America? Because not that it doesn't
It looks
have,
like jumping off buildings.
yeah,
No,
there's that.
not even, no bullshit.
No,
Like
yeah, there's
yeah,
that for sure.
like I, so everybody doesn't work in corporate America. Some people are self-employed. You know what I'm saying? And they can get burnt out because there's no limit to how much you can do or not do when you're self-employed because you're the sole proprietor, right? Like you, if you don't make it happen, you don't eat. Simple as that. So some people can get burned. I mean, there's no restriction as to where burnout can occur. It can occur anywhere. Education, corporate America, nonprofit, for profit, like it doesn't matter. It We're all susceptible to burnout. The challenge is like we may not we may not be able to identify it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to slow down and talk about this because it's um it's kind of alarming. I thought there was another statistic on here that I had about the percentage of people who are burnt out, but I don't see it. But my point is sometimes so case in point, just today, right? Bree is working, looking for work, and I was talking to one of my partners. I was like, what does she want to do? I'm like, well, she wants to get into HR. And she's like, well, if she wants to get in HR, I won't say the company's name, but she's like, I have a friend that's really high up in this major corporation, and her team is, I'm gonna give it this name. There was probably a more corporate name for it, but it's basically her team is the HR crisis team. So the example she gave me, she's like, if somebody's spouse dies unexpectedly or gets killed, the HR crisis team sends a unit to the house, which is like a detective, it's a psychologist, it's all these things for that employee that to help them get through it. She was talking to me about situations where like executives would have a mental breakdown on the floor, like on the work floor, like just start talking crazy to people because they just had a breakdown. Now, again, that could be a mental breakdown. I'm of the mind a mental breakdown is influenced by burnout at some level. Period. Right? Like especially when you're performing at that high level and you have that much pressure in your job and everything like that. And I've worked for a performance organization for the last 15 years, and it's like you got your goals, you got all the things that you have to accomplish, and there's this compensation tied to it, of course. But in addition to you being a overachiever, type A personality, you pushing yourself. There's the push from the leader, whoever you're reporting to. There's a push from the company. There's a push for a stock price. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to be the person that's holding up the rear in anything you're doing. So this is like unwanted pressure. So um so you kind of alluded to like my first question. My first question is what is your initial emotion regarding burnout as a concept? Just like being conceptually thinking about burnout. Like what do
So
you think about?
before we get to that, I want to double back on this HR crisis team. I think one, that is a brilliant uh, implementation to have in the workforce. I think it's super beneficial for people. I think any educators listening, you should definitely think about incorporating that within education. And I can only, we're talking about us. I don't think it's about me, but it's about us. So like when my circumstances happened, there was no HR crisis team. Nobody came by the
Mm,
crib. Nobody came by the crib to say, "Are you okay? Do you need help? Can we offer a therapist?" None of that. You know what I'm saying? That would have been monumental for me, bro. It would have been very, very helpful. And just now, so now in talking about that, like looking for the admin role, going into the admin role, that's something I could probably try to implement at least within my school.
yeah,
You know what I'm
only
saying?
the only barrier I see is funding. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
like that's it makes not that this makes it any better, but it makes sense that you didn't have it afforded to you because I mean shit, the schools that don't have books.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let alone a crisis team. So
I mean, even if it's just the school social worker and guidance counselor and somebody who say, listen, you can take the day off, go check on so and so. You know what I'm saying? You can still,
yeah.
what I mean, just use your day for that. That
Yeah.
would be something that what I'm saying that we can make happen. I think that would be huge, bro. Like I can't even tell you what that would have done for me.
But you don't know, right? You don't know what you need at that point.
Right,
But
right, right, right.
to your point, it's like
To that point though, like these people don't know. A crisis happens.
No, no, no. Right,
You know, people
right.
knock on the door. That's huge. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, we got an admin council coming up. I'm gonna pitch that to them and have a conversation just to see if we have one and if we could implement one. I think that would be huge, man. Huge. We got a new mayor. Maybe I can, you know what I mean? Tap in with him. But listen, bro, this is just something cool.
Yeah.
But back to your original question, the general thoughts around it. Like I said, the first thing comes to mind is just because I think of dealing with these troubled teens. But I guess in most educational settings, pardon me, a lot of educators would say the kids aren't the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's the adults that that drive me crazy and inspire the burnout. So I'm
But,
just thinking
regardless of who the problem is, right?
it's
Like the
burnout is happening.
result is the same. Yeah.
So for me, I think just in that regard, whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed or it's feeling like it's a lot, we happen to have a 3-day weekend or the vacations right around the corner. So right when that burnout is on my ass, just in that particular moment, something happens to where it gives us another day to kind of reset. Like tomorrow, we got off for Veterans Day. Good day to just kind of unwind and collect yourself and then get back to work on Wednesday. So I think as far as that is concerned, in
But
education for the most part, if you can really utilize that downtime, those days off to just kind of regroup, it will help. They don't get very many vacation days throughout the course of the year because
the
technically
built-in vacations, yeah.
because you get the summers. You know what I'm saying? So during the year, you don't really get too much vacation time unless you take some FMLA, and that ain't vacation. That's obviously a necessity.
But I just want to be careful because though I cited corporate America and you're citing the school system, be clear that burnout doesn't just occur on your based on your work circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I understand you do that for a living and you get, time, vacation, holidays and things that you get off. But I'm of the mind that it's a culmination, and obviously everyone's different. But I'm of the mind that it's a culmination of events. It's not just work. It's not just like
Right. So back
work
to your
enters.
general question, when you say burnout, the first thing I think of is a work related incident. And to your point, you're right. Like it's life that's happening, and work can be the release. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that moment in time that you were having where I felt like you were burnt out, and I felt like you. I didn't use the words burnt out, but I was just saying. I forgot what was it. I kept saying this to you. This is I was saying like you were easily aggravated or something. I was saying where I was just like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you see it, but it's showing up. And you
Right,
need to
right, right.
take
Yep.
some time to yourself. So on and so forth. So I'm positive that wasn't one singular thing that got you there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right, right.
it was a combination of things. So,
And at that
but
time, I probably wouldn't have even pointed the finger at work.
no, exactly. You see what I'm saying? But it all plays a part because if you are where your feet are, then it's going to show up. Like if you're at work and you feel it, it's going to show up. If you're out performing and it shows up, you're going to feel it. So, but I think in a lot of cases, we don't identify it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when we may be overwhelmed, we may be even stressed. And we're like, okay, this day off is going to help. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
Yeah, but I feel like you
I,
said, go ahead.
I don't even know that we know when we're burnt out. I don't know. I'm not saying we do or we don't. I just don't know.
And that's what I was gonna say. And that's what I was gonna say. It's not. It's not like it becomes part of the course for us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just another stressful day packed on top of another stressful day, and it doesn't necessarily feel like grown up because this is the grind that we become so accustomed to.
Yeah, I just think though, I agree. I guess my whole thing is how many days, months, weeks, months can we string together before something snaps? Fortunately, we've never gotten there. You know what I mean? Not to my knowledge, at least.
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, like old boy, shout out to dude. I can't remember his first name. The dude kneeling from the Cowboys just committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
They said that he was struggling with the death of his mom for a while,
Yeah, I
and
read that.
people look at that and go, young, healthy, successful millionaire playing in the NFL, too much for him.
Yeah, and but again, this is what I'm saying. So it's like I read the definition and I read the key drivers to burnout, so we can pre-identify it before it happens, right? So like I mentioned, um, my last role was probably a little bit of both. It was emotionally draining role without adequate resources for sure, and a misalignment between organizational values and day-to-day operations. Like my company was uh, like up in the air. It was just a lot of stuff going on, and we were, in addition to company alignment needing to be better. If the company's not aligned, then the producers can't be aligned. You know what I'm saying? The leaders can't be aligned. So there was two things going on. It was mostly draining without adequate resources, and it was misalignment. So for me, I think the first time I noticed that I was burnt out was when it was like again a culmination of things. I ruptured my Achilles, and then the work was getting to me, and it was just like a rough time, and I was very depressed at that point for a period. Um, and then I came out of it once my foot got better and all of that. But I wouldn't have recognized it had I not slowed down, had I not been in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to move and had to be alone with my thoughts more or less, which is when I started meditating.
Speaking of that, when you getting back, when was the last time you did that?
Meditated?
Yeah.
It's probably been about 3, 4 months. It's been a little bit. I
When
I, I went back heavy and then I like slowed down again.
can you recall that instance where when I shot out there and met up with Kay Thomas, we pulled up on you?
That's the same time period.
Was it the same time period?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That same time period. Yeah, same time period. It was a lot going on. Like I had actually that might have been before. Well, it might have started back then, actually, and then I ruptured my Achilles the month after. I ruptured my Achilles the month after, and that's probably when it started. But it's a lot of pressure, man. It's like unless you have a job that you don't take pride in, it's gonna be self-induced pressure, right? Like if you could be on the fries at McDonald's, but if you want to be on the grill, and in order for you to be on the grill, you got to hit these certain metrics. You got to come to work on time. You got to help develop somebody. You got to do all these things. You're gonna be putting pressure on yourself. If you don't have any pride in your work, then you won't. It won't be like whatever, or you could be in a job too long that you become apathetic, where it's just like you're just there. You know what I'm saying? Like passing time. It's like it doesn't. You're good at your job. You're not great, but nobody's gonna say anything to you because you're good and they need stuff done.
I don't know where this is coming from, but it made me think of this podiatrist story. I was talking to Eric one day about a podiatrist. I don't know how we got on the topic of podiatrists, and he was like, "Podiatrists are weird." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Think about it, man. Anybody who want to play with feet all day is a weird nigga." And I'm like, I'm like, yo,
only Eric would say something like that.
and I'm like, yo, it was funny at the time, and I laughed. I'm like, he might have a point, like it's you know what I mean. But then I was talking to a podiatrist at the hospital, CBH, and she was like, "I love my job," and she's like, I always knew I wanted to be a doctor, just didn't know what." And then I started looking into podiatry, and I kind of fell in love with it, and I realized that in this profession, 95% of the time, anytime someone leaves here, they feel better.
As a podiatrist,
As a podiatrist, she's like
mm-hmm.
they come in with ingrown toenails, whatever the case may be. She's like, I have a quick fix for it, and they leave here and they feel better. My job makes people happy, and it makes me happy making people happy. And I'm like, yo, that's a great point. Because there's other doctors where you go and it ain't, what I'm saying, it's not necessarily fulfilling. or not say a beneficial, positive thing where you got to, deliver the bad news or whatever. But like, she's just like, yo, most of the time, like 95% of the time people leave here, they feel better. I'm like, damn, that's a great
Yeah,
point.
it's all perspective, bro. Like it's all
Yeah.
perspective. Like it's Lorraine's an attorney. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, when they think of attorneys, they think of defense attorneys,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's a mortgage litigator, but she's an attorney, right? Like if she wanted to be a defense attorney, she could have, but it does not fulfill her. So this is the other thing: when you have a passion or a purpose, right? And it's like I'm called to do this work. It's like regardless of what we say to ourselves, but it's like we convince ourselves that there's nobody else that can do the job that we're doing, whether that's true or not. And you give, you give, you give, you give, you give, and then that's where the burnout can creep in because work is stressful. Like the more money you make, the tougher it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like period. Like if you have a lot of responsibility, that means you're probably making a decent amount of money. And if you're making a decent amount of money, that means you have a decent amount of responsibilities at home and at work. So it's like there's a lot of people depending on you. So it's like, how do you manage that? And there's no one teaches you how to manage that. So you run, you work out, you meditate maybe, right? And that can help. But it's like the body keeps the score, dude.
For sure.
If you're not finding a way, there's this new bedding or bed commercial where it's and it says Olympic hopeful. I don't know her name, but she's a downhill skier, and she's like, rest isn't a part of my recovery. Rest is a part of my workout, is what she said basically. So it's like this is built in to my workout. Like I have to rest. That's the only way that the workout is gonna work, is if I rest. So, and she didn't go into that much detail, but that's how I received it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of us out there that don't feel like there's room to stop or room to slow down in the work that we do due to self-imposed pressure, outward pressure, social pressure, I guess there's no shortage of pressure, but the question is, how are we able to how you recognize it that it's happening? Because if you don't, then that's when you snap, and that's when the crisis team is called in.
I'm just trying to think of like, is there a difference? Can we? I mean, yes, but like burnout and depression. Because remember, we weren't able to identify what depression looked like or put a name on it, and
I
most people would call burnout stress.
just pause there for a second. I think we can put a name on depression. I don't think we want to. A lot of times, like, and I'll speak for myself. Again, I'm speaking for myself. Depression seems like you quit, or for me, I'm saying for me, like I lost. So if I'm depressed, that means I'm already defeated in my mind. So I'm not quick to label it because I like to believe I still got a fighting chance.
So does burnout feel like more of a fighting chance? Because you know what, I'm just burnt out. I've been burning from
I
both
can't
ends for a while.
more often than not. Somebody else recognizes my burnout before I do. More often than not. Like we just recorded on last week. I don't know what day it was we recorded, and I didn't tell Lorraine I was recording. I was coming upstairs, and I'm like, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I got to record." She's like, "You're doing a lot." She's like, "You need to sit down." And obviously, I committed to recording, so I finished the recording. But that comment, with Butter's help, helped me pause and be like, "Yo, she's right." I've been in 4 or 5 different states over the last 30 days. It's been nonstop travel, having to be on when I travel, because it's one thing to travel and you travel for one meeting and you get back on the plane, but you having to be on the whole time you're traveling. Like that takes a toll,
Mhm.
but and I wouldn't say I was burnt out, but I will say that without the recognition, I could keep stacking. I could keep stacking and not slow down. So just that one comment caused me to reflect and slow down. Like this weekend, well, Sunday, I didn't do anything. I just laid on the couch all day.
Okay. I'm about to say, have you taken a moment to kind of slow down?
Yeah, this Sunday. Because this weekend was tough. So Bill came to town, so we went to the show, and then UConn had a big game, so I was at the game. Um, and then we had to get back for a party. But on Sunday, I left the house only because I wanted to get out the house, not because I had to. So um, so that's how it shows up for me. It's like I don't recognize it. I have to have somebody point it out because I won't slow myself down.
Okay. So we already talked about. So I'm just trying to figure out like what is that? What does it look like for me? Burnout. It's funny because I would have never applied burnout to any of my situations. It would just be, I would have just labeled it stress.
I think that's. I don't know if this is a gender problem, like being males. I don't know, but I don't think we like to be labeled. That's another thing. Like I know I don't like to be labeled, but it's like the whole
Any
is
any
she
kind
thick?
of quote unquote negative label that represents a weakness
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I don't like to be labeled in general, even if it's
I
positive.
mean,
Like this, like I don't know. That's just I've always been like that though. Like because I feel like when you get labeled, you get put in a box, and it's like don't put me in a box. But 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 the question is this, right? I think this is the most important question: is how has your well-being impacted your family's performance?
so if I'm being honest, I think when I'm in those modes, I fake a funk until I'm by myself. The blessing and the curse about not having full my kids with me all the time is I can get a day, I can get an
It's my own
evening
time.
every now and then
Yeah.
where I can just, you know what I mean, go to bed. You know, it's time. It was maybe like it's funny. You know what? I don't think I labeled it burnt out, but I didn't put a word on it. But I'm just like, it's a lot right now. Let me just, I need to rest. Go home, go to sleep. And I came home and I was in bed by like 5 o'clock.
There was a period. I don't remember what you was doing, but bro, what I felt, regardless of what you were doing, but I felt you were just traveling to travel. And obviously you had reason behind all your travel, but I think it might have been around the time for my birthday when you were gonna drive out to New York, meet us out there, have dinner, turn around, drive back to Connecticut, and then turn around and come back to New York to spend the second day with us. It didn't work out like that, fortunately, but that's what your plan was.
What ended up happening? I think, yeah, I think we was hanging out and then Mia had a Mia had a game or something, and I had to want to get back for her game and then come back.
Yeah, but you never left. You stayed the night, and because I got there on, let's just say I got there Friday. I got there Friday. You were gonna come out Friday, hang out with me, drive back home, and then come back Saturday when me and Oz got together. And you came out Friday, but you left Saturday night. And I was just like, bro, that don't make no sense.
Right, right, right. I
And you
remember.
had already been traveling a lot. You had already been traveling a lot. I think you had fell asleep on the road at one point during that time too. And
Sit down somewhere, boy.
yeah. So it's like, how do you how do you govern yourself? You know what I'm saying? And it's like why?
Right.
Like why do we feel the need to push it to the limit? Like why do we feel the need to do that? Like these are all the questions around because I mean obviously Nobody's choosing to get burnt out.
You're right. I don't know. Like if you say, feel the need to do so. Really, it really becomes just a part of ingrained in a part of who we are, yo. That
But
grind.
why?
That I don't know. It's a good
You know what I'm
question.
saying? And that's what that so the it's interesting how you answer the how has your well-being impacted your family's performance. It's interesting that you took it as it doesn't. I'm not saying you said this, but how it could have come off is it doesn't impact my family's performance. When I'm alone, I just sleep and then I recharge. But it's like, but it does though, and I don't know how. I don't have an answer, so I
No,
don't
no,
know
I'm not
how.
saying it doesn't. I'm saying I do my best to try to make sure I'm still moving and acting according to whatever our standard is for whatever the case may be.
I tell you what, boy. One thing about us, we're not about to admit no flaws.
No, no, no. I'm just trying to think. Like if I could think how it impacts them in a way that because I really try not to be like snappy with them because I really do encourage them to like be mindful of their emotions and not take their frustration on other people. Um, I told them if anything right now my safe getaway is the time,
What do you mean?
just the time that I would spend with them versus being like, you know what, I'm going to cool out today.
Here,
So,
here's a story I tell myself. They'll thank me later. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll thank me later. Like they don't realize what this work will result to.
but they'll thank me later being the time you separated yourself from them to get the rest
No, no.
and the grind you're putting in that benefits them in the long run.
The the rest is so short, it's almost inconsequential.
So that's not
And
something
my
you know.
and my like for instance, I took a nap on the couch on Sunday for 2 hours. Um, and Chase was just on his tablet, and I just passed out. And like he wasn't thinking about me. I was right next to him. You know, he was the rain was on a call, and I just took a nap. I passed out. But me doing all that travel, and it's also like we have to. I'll speak for myself. We also have to, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Be more mindful or cognizant of our time. For instance, like my conferences. There's a conference I went to this year. I won't name it. I did not have to go. Like I did not have to go. So it's like, what's the ROI,
Mhm.
right? So when I'm and I didn't do it, I'm just saying going forward, what's the ROI? ROI. If I'm going to be away from my family, what's the ROI? You know, like what can I get from this? What's the return on investment? And I think sometimes we're so used to the grind, we don't stop to think about the ROI. We just think
So,
about like,
so you're
okay,
saying you didn't go?
no, I did go. But what I'm saying is because of what I'm saying, I didn't stop to think about what the ROI is.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh no, this is just part of it. This is part of the grind. This is part of the ladder to success or whatever we tell every bullshit we tell ourselves. And it's like, no, how about you do a risk analysis?
Right.
Right? Like what is your return on investment if you take this trip? Like what do you have to gain from it? What's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? Or is it worth your time? Is it worth being away from your family? And if it is, then it's understood and it's measurable.
Mhm.
Okay, in order for this to make sense for me, I'm going to this conference. I got to meet this person, this person, this person, and I have to get a follow up meeting following the conference. If I get those four things accomplished, it's well worth my time.
Is that something you can do now, moving forward, and plan that, or is that something?
100%. We, my whole team was talking about that this year because it's just like we went to some conferences that, and not a ton at all. I would say for me, just one that I went to that there wasn't an ROI. You know, now don't get me wrong, it was a great experience, but I didn't need that experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't need to go. And we all, and I mean, to the point that some people on my team left early. They're like, yo, we out. Like, I'm not, I'm changing my flight. Like, I'm not staying here. And not that the conference wasn't impactful. It just the return for us just did not make sense. And I don't know that we do that enough. Like, what is the ROI? Like, if I send this email at 9:49 p.m. versus 9:49 a.m.,
Mhm.
right? Like if I send it to them right now, yeah, when they read it, they're like, "Oh wow, he's working really hard." But they're not going to read it till 9 anyway in the morning. So get some sleep and send it in the morning.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something silly and simple, but we don't. I don't do it enough, and I know for damn sure you don't do it enough. Because some of the shit you be telling me, I'm like, bro, that don't make no sense. But Godspeed.
Right.
Like,
If you like it, I love it.
yeah, it's like, but but we can like that's what I'm trying to tell you. We can convince ourselves of anything. We can convince ourselves of this is what the grind looks like. I don't necessarily agree all the time. Like, what is our desired outcome? And is this getting us closer to that? And in a lot of cases, yeah, it is. In a lot of cases, inevitable. It's like there's nothing you can do. Like this is the cost of admission.
Do you think in your particular field there is like a season where burnout is you're more susceptible to burnout? Because I think that's something people could also start to like just
Yeah, that's
put
fair.
on their radar.
That's
You know what I'm
fair.
saying? Like around this time, shit starts to get thick. You might want to start checking yourself for the burnout phases.
I mean, the obvious answer is fourth quarter, right? Like if you're in a performance driven job, fourth quarter, everybody's trying to get to their goal. So this time of year, then you got the holidays and you got pressure from financial burdens from holidays and family and things like that. And like, yeah, that's a key time to be cognizant of burnout because some people will push, like our company, like in my company right now, bro, if I don't have business closing by the end of the week, it's not going to impact this year. It's not. It's just not. So for me, it's like I'm not about to stress about it. Like if I don't have something that closed by this week, is I basically have my final number is based on 2 weeks in December, and for me to put something for me to close some business, it would have to close by Friday for it to hit at least 1 week in December. And it's like if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. But I'm not about to kill myself trying to figure that out. Like at this point, if I didn't do enough from now, from January to now, the likelihood of me getting it done in the next 3 weeks is slim. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it is what it is. But that and when you're gunning for a promotion, when you're gunning for a promotion, you could, right? Not everybody's the same, but you can get so tunnel vision that you don't see anything else. And like me and Mac was talking about this because he's obviously hit some milestones, and it can show up different for everybody. Like you may experience it when you get this paperwork and you start grinding to become a vice principal.
But these conversations are going to be something that are vital to just like catching myself more so in the moment and being more aware of it.
Yeah, I could see you getting burnt out with um, trying to balance your current day job, your poetry, whatever part-time gigs you pick up, and pursuing your new career. I can see it being challenging to strike a balance with all of those things and you feeling burnt out or potentially getting burnt out. I can see that because that's a lot. That's the thing. It's like, that's what causes these mental snaps, bro. It's like we're at capacity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're at capacity. I was having a conversation with Brianna last year, which is wild. I had this conversation with him like, listen, you need to relax. I said, because you're at capacity. I'm like, one bad thing that happens is gonna rock you. It's gonna rock you. I'm like, you need to calm down. You need to figure it out. Like you need to start working out, start meditating, start doing something. But one bad thing is gonna rock you, bro. I swear to God, Chief. Not even 24 hours later, my cousin was murdered. A girl that she used to hang out with all the time. And had we not had that conversation, that would have rocked her. That would have rocked her. But we don't know what we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know what it looks like. Like we don't know because we another thing to get a little deeper. A lot of us are first generation,
Hmm.
right? First generation college grads, first generation of success. So we're like, man, ain't nobody showed me how to do this. My cousin, shout out to my cousin Yolanda, she came to the suite and she does very well. Works for the same company Mac does, and we were talking about being a nepo baby and how our kids don't want to be nepo babies. I'm like, fuck that. Like, sign me up to be a nepo baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll even take nepotism in the underworld. If OG had a damn block he could have left me at when I was younger, right? Like, I would have took that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so most of us are paving the way for our families for the first time. So we put that pressure on ourselves, like, oh, if we don't figure it out, ain't nobody gonna figure it out, which isn't true, right? But that's what we tell ourselves, because the truth is, if we've done our job right, our kids will be better than us, and they'll make their own way through what we've taught them. Regardless if we get to where we want to get to, it still will be further than our parents got us, and to no fault of our parents, and not that's not a shot at our parents. It's just they did what they could with what they had, as did us, but we just had more,
Right.
so we could do more.
And that'll continue as far as it goes. Yeah. So, I mean, that all makes sense. I think we just need to be more aware of our stressors and be able to kind of hone in on the buildup of them so we don't reach that point of burnout. Or, yeah, so that's that. So we can, I think that was a solid conversation. So what gems do we have for people to um to consider when facing potential burnout? Let's give a final thought on that, Bell.
Um, keep that in mind. Like, know where you want to go, so you know what mile markers you have to hit, right? And again, I'm giving this advice because I'm more so giving it to myself. Always measure the ROI, right? What's the return on investment? If I do this, what do I get? What's the best use of my time? How's my time best well spent? Because listen, at least most of our listeners at one time or another have been broke, right? Whether if it was just a broke college student or whatever, and we're figuring out life as we go. And I say that to say, well, we can always get money back, but we can't get time back. So just be stingy with your time and give it um when necessary to get you closer to where you want to go. That's my final thought.
All right, so I wrote down a bunch of different notes, but I think I'm gonna stick to these 4 points. One, I think that HR crisis team was a big point for anybody in any industry. In order to like just consider your people, man. I think anybody who feels appreciated and respected in the workforce can definitely help slim the chances of burnout, especially if they know they got a team of people who care about them. So if you have the resources to implement an HR crisis team, I think that'd be monumental for your people. You just never know. Even if you made it a quarterly thing where these 3 people check in on everybody, you know what I'm saying? Just something that just, I think that can make a world of a difference, man. A world of a difference. So that's something I'm going to push for sure in our next admin council. And when I get my building, better believe that's going to be something we have in there. Um, an absolute either a quarterly check-in for all of my staff just to make sure everybody's well-being is okay for sure. um I wrote down, pay attention to your patterns. I think we don't give enough attention to the consistent things we do that can be adding to our stressors. And if we paid attention to those, we'll be able to kind of catch ourselves in the middle of it and dial it back a bit. Recognize the season, the fourth quarter, end of the semester, whatever the case may be, and if that is around the time where the burnout normally happens, at least you're aware of it and you can kind of do what you have to do to again scale it back a little bit so you don't push yourself over the edge. And lastly, I put the people around you, man. I've said it a million times on the episode. Like when you got a good team around you who can call you out and identify things that you don't see in yourself, it makes all for the better, man. So get yourself a good team around you and be able to allow them to help you, so regulate so you can stay as sane as possible without, pushing yourself over the edge. Those are my final thoughts. Um, we are here every week. We back. So y'all stay tapped in. We're gonna keep this thing rolling. We got a special guest coming next week. We're gonna start getting more and more guests on here. Couple marquee names that you might recognize, and then keep this train rolling. If y'all have anything y'all want us to talk about, we missed a topic or we didn't hit the mark, let us know, man. Open, we all down for open conversations. Um,
A minute the mission.
yeah, please.
Um, Remember, ladies and gentlemen, our mission when we started this 5 years ago was to create a safe space for Black men to openly engage in conversations surrounding their mental health, and we do that by illustration, right? So by practicing what we preach, and we share our thoughts and our day to days with you all to create that community of vulnerability that we are encouraging you all to embrace.
Word. Y'all rock with us, and we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. So hit us up at allblackmenhytherapy@gmail.com with any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns. We also have a voice line, 860-410-6160. Hit us up on the voice line, y'all, 860-410-6160. Shoot us a text message, leave us a voicemail, and we'll do our best to get back to you or, implement what you suggest so that we can, cater to the people, get the people what they want. That's all I got for now, y'all. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Please do us all a favor and hug a Black man today
Do it.
and tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Peace.